Okay guys, so today I'm going to be doing another batch of squishy makeovers. You guys loved the last one. I'm so happy because this is like so fun for me. I think this is going to be a new series if you guys are still interested. Again, I'm using very cheap squishies that I got online for around $1 to $5 a piece, and when you don't spend a lot, you don't get a lot. So they all need a little help. It's time for squishy roasting. So let's start with this waffle chunk. I call it the sad Christmas waffle. Christmas because the red and green drizzle, sad because it just doesn't look good. The drizzle is really messy, the colors are strange, but on the plus side, it is pretty squishy and it comes on a cute little keychain, so we can work with this. First step is to take care of that sad drizzle. As you can see, it pretty easily pulls off, so I just sat there and picked the drizzle off piece by piece until I had a clean waffle. Goodbye, drizzle. To paint this, I'm going to use a mix of different fabric paints. Any fabric paint will work, it's all basically the same. And I'm going to cook up a nice waffly color, and I'm just going to start painting the waffle. I'm only worried about one half of it for right now, and hang that up to dry somehow. And I'm going to put away the leftover paint in an airtight container to save myself the headache of having to match the exact color later. Once the first coat is dry, I'm going to go over it with that leftover paint and make sure to cover any boo-boos. Yes, I did say boo-boos, and I'm gonna remove the keychain just for now so that I'm not getting paint all up in there, and I'm gonna paint the other half of the waffle with some blue paint so that it looks like it's dipped in blue frosting, because you know, that's cool, I guess. Once the first coat is dry, I'm adding a second coat. This is kind of an awkward shape to paint with all those little nooks and crannies, but you know, you can make it work. While the paint is still wet, I'm gonna stick on some sprinkles. No, these are not real. I made them out of clay. Oops. Some people don't like that I use sprinkles so often, but you know what? I really love the way they look, and it's kind of an addiction at this point. Like, I need sprinkles, okay? Now I'm gonna flip this over and put one final coat of blue paint on the underside. Once it's dry, I'm gonna reattach that keychain. But wait, I painted over the eye pin. Oh no, all is lost. I'm just gonna poke a hole through the eye pin and stick the keychain right back on, and there we go. Do you guys like how this squishy changed? I personally really like the changes. I think it looks really fun and cutesy, and of course, I love the sprinkles. So next is this bear cream puff squishy. I actually liked this squishy. I thought it was really cute. The colors are nice, it's soft, but because it's so cheap, it has completely started falling apart after squishing it. There are huge rips all the way around. The ears have darn near come off of it, and in case you didn't notice, it's missing an eye. Not to mention all the other rips, chips, and cracks. So, you know, let's give this guy a new life. I'm gonna start by trimming off any areas around his missing eyeball that are sticking up, just to smooth things out so that it doesn't show through the paint. And then I'm gonna chop off his other eyeball, because we need to even things out. Okay, that is terrifying. Let's get to painting. Little tip, if it seems like the paint is out, it's not. Cut the bottle in half, and wow, look at all that paint that could have been wasted. And yes, I did like the original colors of this, but this is a makeover, so let's change everything up entirely and do something crazy and different. So I'm going with red for the pastry part, making sure to seal up that rip really well. Fabric paint is actually really durable, much more durable than the store-bought squishy material, so that rip ain't coming back. Some people don't like the shininess of fabric paint. I actually think it looks nice, but they do have matte fabric paint available, so you can use that if you're a slick paint hater. Not judging, but So after the two coats of red on top are dry, I'm gonna move on to some detail work, and with some green paint, I'm gonna add a little strawberry leaf at the top because I'm making this strawberry themed. Did you see that coming? Did you? Did you? And now immediately after, I'm gonna paint the bottom pastry or whatever you wanna call it. And now that the top and bottom are drying at the same time, I'm gonna use a toothpick in the eye This just keeps getting worse. And stick the toothpick into some packing foam to hold it up. That looks comfortable. And later, I had to add another toothpick to balance out the weight. Hang in there, buddy. I'm gonna mix up some pink paint and finally relieve this guy from his suffering. I'm using the pink paint for that center filling, and I'm gonna add the pink to the ears as well. And finally, it's time to work on that face. All done. Just kidding. So I've been wanting to start doing more animal squishies because I usually stick to food and desserts, but I'm really not practiced at painting faces on squishies, so this was kind of a struggle. So now I'm gonna turn my attention to the top. I'm gonna add some little white seeds to make it look like a strawberry. Yeah. Also gonna add the inside to the ears and some other little touch-ups around. Finally, I'm gonna add the nose and the mouth to hopefully start making this look a little bit more normal. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Even though the original design was nice, I like that this is my own unique version of it. So you can see that squishy makeovers are not just for ugly squishies, they're for squishies that are used up or well loved if you want to be nice about it. So this is a bear that's also a cream puff that's also a strawberry. Okay, next I'm gonna work with this donut. This squishy is the cheapest of the cheap. The decoration seems weird, like you got this random drizzle on one side and then the other side is like a cluster of little beads. I don't even know. I do like the shading that's on the bottom, so I'm kind of sad to see that go. It's got a rip in its hole. Oh, okay. Never mind. It's also like not squishy at all. I did not have high hopes for this one, but let's see what we can do. So let's start with that drizzle. That came off pretty effortlessly, actually. The beads, on the other hand, were pretty annoying to remove. I had to like scratch these off, which was kind of creeping me out. It almost felt like I was scratching off a scabby skin condition or something. I had to peel away the skin in several spots and basically just completely make a mess of this. I tried to even things out a little bit with my scissors, and there we go, that's as good as it's gonna get for now. So I'm gonna mix up some tan paint. A lot of you thought it was really strange that I use a popsicle stick to spread the paint. Let me show you why. This is what happens when you paint with a paintbrush. Basically, you just smear around the paint and it doesn't do anything. So then when you try to apply the paint more thickly, the bristles get really clogged up and stiff and you just make a mess of your paintbrush. So using a popsicle stick is so much quicker, makes it easier to clean. Yeah, it's just better. Donuts are kind of a pain to paint because you have to do it in like 3 different phases. The bottom first, then once the bottom dries, then you have to worry about the sides and kind of working it onto the top of the donut and filling in the hole, and then finally the frosting. I'm gonna take some inspiration from the original squishy and stick with a green color, and now I'm frosting the donut, which is the fun part. I didn't film me doing the second coat and the drizzle because I seem to have forgotten how a camera works and I didn't press the record button. Yeah, brilliant. But all you missed was me doing the second coat of green and adding the white drizzle. So now I'm gonna add sprinkles because, of course, yes, we already talked about this, addiction, and let that dry. And now, some of you were worried that the sprinkles may fall off. Well, my friends, I plan for that. I always use a clear coat over the sprinkles to hold them in place, but don't buy this. It works great, but it's overpriced. You can just use clear fabric paint or fabric glue and water it down a bit, it will work the exact same. Okay, here it is, and I really like this. I like that I kind of kept the same elements, like the green frosting, the white drizzle, and the sprinkles. They're all still there, but they're just a little fixed up. And you will notice that this has become more squishy, so that's always a bonus for those of you who care about that. Okay, next we have this Muffin squishy. Only thing I don't like about this one is the colors. It's like a fluorescent yellow muffin with a bright orange drizzle. It's just really bright and it looks really unnatural to me, but it is a nice squishy. It's in good condition, so we got something to work with. So the drizzle on this one was much harder to remove, so I was really just worried about the places where it was really thick, and I just took those off and then just left the rest on there, hoping that it wouldn't show through the paint. And I went chocolate for this. I was having kind of a hard time coming up with an idea for this one, and when in doubt, chocolate. And of course, once that dries, I'm gonna go in and touch up some of the thin spots, and then once that dried, I'm gonna turn it over and paint the bottom. This one is pretty straightforward with the paint job. I didn't get too wild and crazy with it. And now that the whole thing is coated in chocolate, I'm gonna add a little decoration. So I'm gonna paint a nice pink drizzle on there and just touch that up with a toothpick to smooth out any areas that got wonky. And then, you guessed it, put some sprinkles on there. So I guess this is like a dessert muffin. It's so typical of me to make something into a dessert that shouldn't be. Anyway, now we're done. And I do feel obligated to point out this is my least favorite of the group. I still think it's a huge improvement. I like it so much better. It's just not my favorite. Oh my gosh, it's so squishy. Okay, I'm sorry. I love you. Still my least favorite though. And finally, the last one is this little sandwich. I don't know what it is. This is really like cheap. There's hardly any color to it, hardly any squish to it. I feel like it's just almost like a scrap piece of foam or something. Like, what is this? Okay, so I'm mixing up some paint. We got a sunny side up egg over there just chilling. This one is really tiny, so all the little details were a little bit tricky to do. I added a crust to the sandwich to make it look like it's an actual sandwich, and then let that dry for a while, and then I went and touched up everything with a second coat. Oh, my voice just cracked. We are in business. So now I'm gonna mix up the color for the filling. I just threw in some leftovers and added a bunch of other crap to make a peanut butter color because I'm doing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yay. Now, I don't mean to trigger anybody, but how do I say this? I hate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like, to me, it's just kind of gross to mix two things that are basically sauces in one sandwich. It's a sauce sandwich. Ew. But even though I don't like to eat them, I can still appreciate that they look cute, okay? They are cute. So I think this looks much nicer now. It does bother me a little tiny bit that the crust color is so close to the peanut butter color, but you know what? Hey, I still think it came out pretty good, and I still think it's really cute. Okay, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video just as much as the first one. Also, I was thinking something that would be really fun is if you guys have an ugly or really used squishy that you would like to see me make over, you could send them to me and I could do like a version of this where I make over squishies that you guys have sent. That would be so much fun because I would have no clue what I'm getting and it would be like a lot of improvising. So if you guys want to see that happen, send me your ugly or used up squishies. My P.O. Box address is in the description. The only thing I ask of you is to write somewhere on the outside of the package that this is for Squishy Makeovers because I would like to open them on camera right there, so I would need to know in advance that that's what the package is for so it doesn't get mixed up with my regular mail, you know? Anyway, it's just an idea. I don't know if anyone would actually do that, but I think that would be really cool. That's it for today. I hope you guys liked this video and I will see you on Monday. Bye!